Good afternoon and assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to another Club 100 video. We're down on the south coast, we're in Lydd, but you guys might realise this isn't my POV because I'm on the left hand side of the screen. There's me going past. I forgot my SD card, so I asked this guy, Andrew McWilliam, to, Andrew and his dad very kindly offered to give me their footage from race 1, which I'm using for this race. So make sure to go check out their channel. Andrew's a very quick driver, but of course he's not quite as quick or as entertaining as me. But do check out his channel. And we're getting ready for a race start. I'm starting all the way down in 9th. I don't really know what happened in qualifying, but I had lots of work to do. I'm on the outside, but the outside is quite good here at Lydd because you instantly have the inside for the left-hander. I get through. Andrew tries to follow me and, you know, use my genius skills, but it just doesn't work out for him. He actually ended up getting a penalty for it, undeserved, I think, from looking at this, but I've gone, right? I've got a great start, I've gained a few places. Andrew's desperate to come through because he realizes that he's my cameraman for this race, so he needs to stick to me, and you can see I'm going up the inside of another driver into this chicane, or the horseshoe as we call it. I mean, come on, Andrew, you gotta keep up. I mean, you're my cameraman, for goodness sake. The cameraman never dies, right? But it's been a really good start. And where are we now? I think we're in P5. So from P9 to P5 in one lap, I think, P8 to P5 in one lap is a very good start. There's a yellow flag, so everyone's kind of slowing down a bit. But then we're off again on the exit of the first chicane. And all that was in my head right now was continue to gain. I'm right behind Jack O'Neill and Andrew Graham, which is what's important in the championship. Jack goes up the inside of Andrew Graham into the hairpin, and now I'm trying to follow through as well. I've got a decent run, and you can see that I'm going to go up the inside into the horseshoe, but fair play to Andrew Graham. He actually hangs it round the outside. That gives him the inside for the left-hander of the horseshoe, and he holds on to the position. And I was thinking, okay, it's a long race, right? We've got 30 minutes, it's about 40 laps here at Lydd. Let me just get my act together. Let's be patient. We don't need to get all of our moves, all of our overtakes done right at the start of the race. And Andrew McWilliam, whose POV we're riding with, is slowly catching up as he's living up to his name of the goated cameraman. I go to the left because I want to go for a switchback, but when I go for the switchback, Ben Lambeth is on my inside and he ruins my amazing overtake. And then Andrew, for some reason, decided that he no longer wants to be my cameraman, so now he's going to go up the inside. I've got to be honest, this is awful camera work from Andrew McWilliam. Like, we can't even see me anymore. That's just awful. Ben Lambeth wants a little push. Andrew says not having any of that. I think I give Andrew a push as well up the inside. And there you go. McWilliam's through. And I'm not in the shot. So what we're going to do is we're going to skip forward by, I think, a lap or so. And coming into this right-hander, oh, what an incredible overtake from none other than yours truly, Milky Cereal. See, I actually quite like having this as a POV because that was a beautiful move. If only I had my camera working, I could have had like a side-by-side going on as well. But, you know, that's me saying, Andrew, get in your place, buddy, right? You're just the cameraman for this race. Sit behind me, right? I'll take your places. Also, Andrew won sprints the following day, so he did very well, and I'm going to take full credit for it because he spent so long sitting behind me and learning from me how to drive at this circuit and how to overtake. Like, look at that move. That was beautiful overtake on Andrew Graham. I'm sorry, I need to stop memeing on Andrew McWilliam. It's because Fraser Brunton, or should I say Brazer Frunton, isn't here, so I need someone else to like joke about. There needs to be like a joke drive of every video, and unfortunately for Andrew, it's him for this one. We did have a full course yellow, so at the end of the full course yellow, look at where I've got my car. I'm getting ready to go. I'm on the power before anyone else, and that means I'm actually going to get an overtake done into turn 1 on the race restart. Like, that's just a big brain, 100 IQ, genius overtake, move up the season, undoubtedly. And with that, I'm up into 3rd place. Now, Jack O'Neill is leading the race, and you can see here that just up ahead, you'll see me going up the inside of Dave Cottrell, because that is me up into 2nd position. So it's taken us about 10-11 laps, but we have got through to the front of the field, and now I just need to catch up to Jack O'Neill. And Andrew McWilliam, fair play to him, I need to give him a raise because he's such a good cameraman. Look at that, he's got through up into 3rd place so that he can give some amazing camera directed work of my battle with Jack O'Neill, and I go up the inside of Jack O'Neill, get the overtake done. It took me about 5-6 laps to catch up to Jack. Now that I got the move done, I knew, right, head down, need to put in some quick laps, try to pull out the gap. So what do? I put in probably one of the worst laps that I've ever done. This lap was so bad, and I remember just being, I don't know why, but I just fluffed everything up. I got a bad exit through turn 1, catching up to a back marker. I think I got a little bit sideways into this right-hander. I couldn't get past La Casas into the hairpin, so I had to sit behind. Actually, no, I do go up the inside of Nicholas, but unfortunately Jack O'Neill is right behind me, so I didn't get a good exit. And now I was even more nervous because I was thinking, right, I haven't had a good breakaway lap, and I don't know why the nerves were just kicking in so much, but yeah, it wasn't my best lap, and I was putting in so many consistent laps to actually catch Jack O'Neill and then get past. And there you see I go wide coming out the final corner. I get this exit completely wrong. Look how wide I go on the exit of the corner. It's not a good look. So yeah, a little bit poor from me, and as a result, when we go through this left-hander, Jack's right on me, and it means that he can go back up my inside and take the position. And again, Andrew seems to forget what his job in this race is, which is to be my cameraman, for goodness sake. What am I paying? Oh, wait, I'm not paying you. Never mind. So, Andrew's now got past Jack O'Neill, and I'm thinking, wow, that's rude. But Andrew, instead of trying to pull away from Jack O'Neill, he fights with Jack. And that kind of allows me to stick with these two, because I thought that they'd start pushing each other along and pulling away. But I think Andrew's realised that if he's not going to be my cameraman, he's got to be my wingman. So he's now fighting with Jack as a result. And I'm sitting behind watching like, okay, let's see if we can get involved. Andrew tries to poke his nose up the inside. That's an awful idea. Andrew, like, what are you thinking? Like, that's never going to work. But he is holding them up, holding Jack up. So I'm still right behind these two, and I'm still thinking, right, let's see if we can get involved somehow. Now Jack's a little bit wary because he's like, Andrew's a nutter, and he's just going to poke his nose in like every single corner. So he goes offensive into the horseshoe. Andrew, I think he takes a bit too much curb, but either way, he's getting a bit of slipstream. He's not going to push Jack along. He gives a little lift. And he gets a good run out of the final corner, and I give Andrew a little push. I say, go on, Andrew, go for the move. And then I back off because I know these two are going to kill each other like nutters. And look who's there to pick up the pieces. It's Milky Cereal. Big brain strat. I pushed Andrew along. I was like, right, you go battle with Jack. And then I was like, I'll overtake both of you. Huzzah! But now I'm into the lead, and I'm like, right, now I'm going to get my head down. And I actually started to pull. And then Andrew goes up the inside of Jack O'Neill because, you know, he's got to be my cameraman. See, now that Andrew's got to be my cameraman, he's able to get the overtake done. But when I was behind, he couldn't. Unfortunately, then a few laps later, like 3 or 4 laps later, Andrew catches up to me. And then he goes up my inside. Again, awful camera work from Andrew McWilliam. 1 out of 10 performance. Horrendous. Would not recommend you to a friend. And to be honest, from there, he pulled away. And Andrew won the race. But he had a penalty, so I inherited the win. Which is a bit of a depressing way to win, because Andrew had, in all fairness to Andrew, he had done a really good race, and he did deserve that win. As much as I hate to admit it, he did deserve to beat me. But I didn't get a penalty, so haha. So I'll win the first race of the day, and with that said, it's time to move on to race number 2, where I've got my own camera, and I've got to be honest, I think the sound of my GoPro is a lot better. Hi, Jack! Gives a little wave to all of you viewers. Make sure you go in the YouTube comments, guys, and say hi back to Jack. But I'm starting on pole. I'm ready to go. So I had a plan, right? What am I going to do? I'm going to be really, really slow, like so slow, because these are racing drivers. They're all allergic to being slow. So look how slowly I'm driving. I could crawl. I could do the worm faster than I'm driving. I'm going in reverse speed, and then I go. And because we're going so slowly, it takes everyone's engines ages to rise up. And I'm gone. Like, I have like 1-2 kart lengths at this point. And I'm like, yes, I absolutely nailed that start. And I think Jack almost fell to third as well, possibly. So at this point, I was like, heads down, let's put in some good laps. I knew I had the pace in the previous race to pull away from Jack. So that's exactly what I've got to do in this race. Unfortunately, though, on lap number 2, as I come out of this chicane, who goes up my inside? Oh, it's Jack O'Neill. And yeah, in race 2, Jack was just a different beast. I thought I'd push Jack along, try to stick with him, pull away from the rest of the pack rather than fighting with Jack. Yeah, that didn't work. You can already see he's pulled a car length to me. He was just absolutely on a different level. We get some really nice slipstream down the back straight. That'll make for a nice short or TikTok. But yeah, Jack's just gone, and he was just hooking up this second race so well. His consistency was on another level. I was trying to push to keep up, but you can already see where it's been about a lap since he overtook me, and he is gone. Like, he's more gone than a dad that's gone to the shops to buy some milk. And you can see on lap 15, he's nowhere. Ooh, that's a weird accident. There's a little bit of a front bumper hanging around. But yeah, Jack's gone. He's pulled probably about 10 seconds in 16 laps. His pace advantage that he had was ridiculous. But there was a full course yellow that came out very shortly after this. And that full course yellow meant that everyone bunched up. Now, at this point in the race, I had about a 1 second gap to a couple of cars behind me, because Dave Cottrell and Andrew McWilliam. Unfortunately, this full course yellow meant that everyone bunched up, and yes, I'm closer to Jack, but I was never beating Jack. The guys behind me, though, could beat me, and I was well aware that a second place in this race would give me the round victory, which is something that I've not had in Club 100 Sprint 60s. So I'm getting ready to go green. I get on the power nice and early. This driver waves me through anyway, but we gain to Jack because we nail that race restart. So out of turn 1, I think, right, let's see if we can do what we couldn't do in the previous race, which is stick to the back of Jack O'Neill on this opening lap. Maybe he'll make some mistakes on the first lap or two, and if I can stick with him, I can pull a little gap to the drivers behind me. And it is lap 19 of the race, and skipping forward a bit now to lap 26, Jack's gone once again. It's only taken him about 6 laps. You can see how far he's gone. And then up my inside goes Andrew McWilliam. Now, ordinarily, I'd sit behind Andrew, I'd push him along, but I needed second place because it would give me the round win. So I go back up the inside of McWilliam, but he hangs on to the position. That means I've got a compromised line through the left-hander, and now Andrew McWilliam gets a bump draft from the other Andrew of Andrew Graham. So both Andrews overtake me into the final corner, which I think is completely unacceptable. Andrews working together. Andrew McWilliams realised that he's no longer my cameraman, so he's free to overtake me. And off he goes. And Andrew Graham gets a bad exit. That means that this driver goes up my inside, but he completely misses the apex, and I lose 5 positions. I actually got a penalty for that, and I was really salty about the penalty during the race and after the race. But looking back, I don't think I deserved the penalty, I'll be honest about that. But I understand why it got given. So what happened into that corner was, because the driver who went up my inside completely messed up his braking, I was really wide, and I was all the way on the edge of the circuit, and then I got tapped by him, which meant that when I went through the left-hander, instead of being able to go left, because I had been tapped on my rear, I ended up going straight for a bit. And that squeezed out a driver who thought that they could go around my outside, or 2 drivers who thought that they could go around my outside. One of them went wide and went into Narnia, and as a result I got a penalty for forcing a driver wide. So I understand why I got given the penalty. I think if the officials had seen it fully with video footage of the whole thing, I don't think I would have got a penalty, because I think it would have been seen as a racing incident. But it is what it is, right? I saw the penalty, I was like, I don't know what the penalty is for. I genuinely didn't know what the penalty was for at this point. I just thought I need to gain positions, right? I'm down in what, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm in 8. I'm in 8th, for goodness sake, and I just thought I need to get up through the field, because now it wasn't about winning the round anymore. I thought, I'm not going to, even if I get up to second, I've got a penalty, so I'm not going to win the round. It's about getting second in the round. It's about making sure that I get more points than Andrew Graham for my championship. So I need to get my head down, I need to put in some really good laps and catch up to this group of karts up ahead of me, and try to work my way through the field. So I get a really nice entry into the right hander, and this horseshoe is a corner that I historically struggled on a lot. However, I think this year this race I've been a lot better with how I was taking the horseshoe compared to previous years. And to to be honest, I felt really good. I felt really consistent at Lydd, and it is a circuit that I have always liked. As this driver thought he could go up the inside, he compromises himself, and now I'm thinking, right, I'm in the game, I'm in this slipstream train, I just need to hook up the corners, and I need to work through them quickly, because there's not long left in the race now, and I cannot afford to make any mistakes. I have to consistently put in these high 44s, 44.7s, 44.8s, pretty much every single lap. This is where I need to prove that I'm a good driver. This is where the good drivers stand out, because they'll get through these laps, these little incidents without any hiccups, and that's what I have to do here. I can't just sit here in it. So there's a little bit of a battle going on that allows me to catch up massively, and again, I'm still just chipping away at the deficit. Again, another 44.8. That's all I need to do, because even if these guys are capable of doing 44.8, I know that when it comes to consistency, they'll have a couple of laps where there'll be a 55.0, and that's where I'll gain 2/10, because I will have that consistency. There we see the mistake from the driver in front, and now I know, right, he's made a mistake. I have to instantly pounce on the opportunity, straight up the inside. I've got no time to waste. So one position has been gained. Now I need to get my head back down, try to catch up to this next gap, which is a bit of a big gap, right? It doesn't look huge, but considering the three in front are all nose to tail, they were pushing each other along, it's going to be hard, and you can see that they've pulled away from me on the straight because they have that slipstream, right? I'm a little bit too far back to be able to gain the advantage of the slipstream. So again, just hook up the laps, gain the time in the corners, and then battle with them, right? Not battling every corner, just whenever that opportunity shows up, go for the move. But I cannot hold myself, and I can see Andrew Graham's got up into second. He's gone. So I was just thinking, oh no, Andrew's gone. That's my main championship rival, up in second place. I need to work up through the field. Again, another 44.8. 3 44.8s in a row, and I think that's a testament just to the consistency that I had in this race. And again, I had that consistency even before this, when I was in second place. I was just putting in consistent laps. I can't remember exactly what those laps were. It's probably 44.7s. I go a little bit wide through the final corner, so that's not as good. And now we put in a 44.6. We're finding that even a little bit more time. Maybe I have a slipstream on the back straight. We'll see how that all pans out. But at the time, all I was thinking was, I'm not catching up to these guys. They're still that same tantalizing distance away. I need to get my head down, and now Mr. Clark makes a little mistake, and that just gives me a bit of hope, because now he's not in slipstream range of the drivers in front, and I think, right, if I nail this corner, I can get a really good run, I can get a nice bit of toe, and we do. We're much closer than we were a lap ago, but still we're not quite closing in on the back straight. So going into the final two corners, we're definitely closer than we were a couple of laps ago. And again, we put in another 44. It's not the best 44, it's a 44.9. But I can see that I'm closing in, and that's all that matters. I just need to catch up to each driver one by one, even if it takes 3, 4, 5 laps. I know that if the drivers in front of me squabble, I could gain 2-3 places in one lap. So I need to stay optimistic. I need to just keep on doing the right thing, which is what we're doing at the moment. Again, this is where I know I can gain a lot of times, and two of the drivers up ahead are battling, and this is what I mentioned. As soon as they start battling, I can gain. And Andrew McWilliam is the loser in this situation because he's not my cameraman, so he's no longer invincible, and we're able to go up the inside. So that's another position gain, and we've gained time to Mr. Clark in front of us. So heads down, wait for that opportunity. I don't get a good run through turn 1, which is unfortunate, so I'm just going to have to sit behind again. I carry too much speed into the right-hander. It's a bad exit, not a good lap. I've dropped 2/10 on this lap. This should be another 44.6. So these are the little mistakes that I shouldn't be making. That if I want to become one of the best drivers, you can't make those tiny little mistakes. But again, through this left-hander, this is where the exit is important. But these three are all nose to tail, and again, they're just a bit too far in front of me. I can't quite stick with them on the back straight. But Clark goes up the inside of a white helmet. I try to follow him through, but again, I can't. So, sure, I might not be able to overtake Clark, but I can overtake white helmet. And there's 5 laps to go in this race, and I know where I want to get the move. It's getting a good run through this chicane. So get all the way over to the right, open up the left-hander as much as possible. We get the run, the perfect run that we want. We're close enough to go for a send, and we are going to do exactly that. But he gets a slightly better run than me. There's a little bit of contact between us, He is ahead, but I am close enough to go up the inside into the right hand. I'm going to slam the door shut on corner exit, and now just try to get my head down. And I just thought, right, I've got some time left. Can I catch up to these two? But unfortunately, it's a simple overtake for Clark. Hussein Rashid not doing me a solid there by defending into that corner, which fair play, to be honest. If I was in that position, I probably wouldn't have. Actually, you know what? I probably would have defended. Wasn't long left in the race. I think you can defend there. But again, I think Hussein also knew that there was a big group of carts behind him. So if he battles, we would have all caught up, and then maybe instead of losing one place, he loses 2, 3, 4 places. So sensible from Hussein. But now I needed him to be able to battle with Mr. Clark. But you can see that Clark has already just gone. He has absolutely checked out. So this was somewhat good for me because it did mean that Hussein didn't have any slipstream. And if he's got no slipstream, it's a little bit easier for me to be able to close in. Again, this lap's 44.7, so we're still hitting that kind of target time of mid to high 44s. And this lap 44.8, so again, we're within that 44.7, 44.8, pretty much every single lap, which is exactly where I need to be in this race. But Hussein is putting in really good laps himself, and it's making it really hard to catch him. But we have recovered from 8th to 5th place, and we didn't have a lot of laps, and the drivers we were racing didn't make any mistakes, right? If they had made mistakes and I had only gained a few places, I would have been annoyed. But considering that they were driving really well, I think I drove really well to be able to gain those couple of places. And my next lap is actually my fastest lap of this race. It's 44.6. So I thought I might as well just talk you guys through the lap and show you what a quick lap at Lydd is like. So into turn 1, you want to use all of this curve on the right, completely send the car over the left curve and just ride the right hand side a little bit. You take that little kink curve and then into this corner all the way up on the curve, and then again using the curve through the left hander as early as you can, opening up the steering, hard on the brakes. You can actually miss the apex to this corner, you can touch it a little bit, it doesn't matter, all the way out on a corner exit, and I take a nice wide line into this right hander on the power as early as you can, and then just slow the kart down a little bit because you can't take that left hander completely flat. And now we get a lovely bit of toe from Hussein, and I'm thinking, okay, what can I do? I have to brake much earlier than I would normally, and as a result, Hussein pulls from me. So I messed up that final corner. I took it how I would if no one was in front of me, but I had to brake more because Hussein was there. So if I'd gone slower in and faster out, I could have been much closer to Hussein, and maybe I would have been able to have a go into this hairpin. I get a good run, but I'm just a kart length too far back to go for a send into this hairpin. I brake a little bit too late, I run wide, and I'm just panicking. I'm just trying to find time too much, and as a result, making mistakes. And this is my last opportunity. Again, it's a decent run through the horseshoe, but it is not quite good enough, and as a result, we are going to have to settle for P5, which, with my penalty, meant that I finished in 9th place for this race. However, good news is my 1st and my 9th were good enough for me to get 2nd in the round overall. So I've increased my championship lead to Andrew Graham, which is important. Unfortunately, Jack O'Neill has pulled further away and has pretty much secured the championship. Just needs to not bottle it, really. Please bottle it. Don't. But yeah, that's been all of the action from Lydd. I hope you have enjoyed the racing. Sorry that I didn't have my camera working in the first race, but I thought we got a pretty good camera view from Andrew McWilliam for that. So I've actually, yeah, it was a good round. I was quite happy with my pace, and I feel like I'm getting closer and closer to that round win. Another race win as well. So it's all starting to come together. And I thought, to sign off this video, because I'm at Lydd, I was by the sea, I thought, let's go for a little dip in the sea to celebrate 2nd place. Yeah, thank you guys all for watching. See you in the next one, which will be at Landau, and enjoy this little outro. So I thought because I was 2nd, I should celebrate by going into the sea, but it's disgusting. The Lydd beach gets a 0 out of 10, I think. So we're going to end this video with a nice trophy at a beach. I was thinking of going in, but that's just disgusting. That is genuinely disgusting. When I go to Italy and I do some karting there, I'll go in the beach properly with a trophy. So
Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, all of that jazz, and see you in the next one.